He's done it!
Throws up the floater.
Oh, astonishing.
Pulls off three-pointer.
We'll go ahead and kick off another episode of Off the Record. I'm your host, Bailey Jackson, joined by my co-host, Lachelle Smith. And like I said, different day, same show, but you know the routine. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. We have the Dodgers winning the World Series, and Lachelle came to the show repping the team, repping LA. Lachelle, I know you watched Game 7. Tell me what you saw. Tell me what you were feeling. I know LA's probably, it's up right now. I heard the celebration was today.
They are unhinged. Like, I don't think people understand the levels that these fans go to. I live downtown. So after they won, the fireworks, the cars doing donuts in the street, the police presence marching down to stop everyone, graffiti everywhere, like it's everything. Game 7 was something. I'm not a big baseball fan. Chat, we've talked about it before. We don't know that much about baseball. Like, I'm not going to defend you or like debate you on baseball. I'm going to sit there and enjoy it like a fan that's trying to understand it and enjoy sports. Game 7 was exactly that. I thought the Blue Jays were winning. I thought they were. Bases loaded. And if it wasn't for Will Smith, the catcher, like, that's a 2-inch margin from his foot going back down on home plate to get the force out versus Toronto just coming right in and about to slide in to end it all. That was crazy. It was cinematic. I mean, all the things that led up for, you know, the Dodgers and all the storylines involved, wives telling players, hey, you're going to hit a home run, even though they haven't hit a home run in a month, and then they hit one there. Like, there's so many things to it. So it was fun to watch. Baseball, I'm falling in love with baseball. Like, I want to be in tune to it now from the start of the season to the end of the season.
And it's a long season. It's a lot of games, too. So the fact that they got you pulled in like that, that's good. That is awesome. I did not get the chance to watch Game 7. I am, admittedly, we've talked about this before, not the biggest baseball fan, and I'm not an expert on the sport whatsoever, but I did choose a side early on. I said I want the Blue Jays to win, so I'm a little disappointed that did not happen. However, I enjoyed watching what I was able to watch, and I'm glad that the Blue Jays, they put up a tough fight. They put up a tough fight, and, you know, ultimately, this game went to the Dodgers, so huge congratulations to them for winning the World Series. We've got Quincy Oliveri in the chat. Shout out Quincy Oliveri.
What's up?
Detroit Pistons. He said, "Go Braves." I don't know about all that, but yeah. No, it was a great World Series that we had there. Maybe we'll see the Braves in the next one. Who knows? But we're gonna go ahead and jump into Quincy. Quincy said, "Not a Dodgers fan." Are you disappointed, Quincy?
That's kind of wild. Like, what the Dodgers do to you?
Right.
I act like I'm from LA. I am not. I'm from Louisiana.
Keep in mind, Quincy was a Laker. Quincy was in LA.
These fans are different. Like, these Dodgers, like, they're different.
He said, but LA loved the team. Yes, I'm from Atlanta. That's why Dodgers are our rivals. I didn't know the Dodgers were the Braves' rivals.
I didn't know that either.
When they were winning.
Teach us something.
Someone said he's mad because we have Freddie. Louis said he's mad because we have Freddie.
Okay. This makes more sense now. Got you. We're following.
We're following now. We are following.
We're walking with you here.
Yep.
See it.
Freddie Freeman. Thank you, Louis, we appreciate the assistance there. All right. Like I said, we're gonna go ahead and jump into some of the biggest news of the weekend. Auburn finally let their head coach go. And Lachelle might be a psychic because we need to run the clip back for our YouTube folks. She predicted that both Brian Kelly and Hugh Freeze would be next on the chopping block. And week after week, she continues to be right.
Hugh Freeze is out there for Auburn. He should go ahead and get ready. Them bags need to start packing.
So, Lachelle, I want to ask you, what is your prediction for who will permanently replace Freeze as head coach? And how are you feeling now that he's fired? How are you feeling about being right?
I like being right. If anyone in this world says, I don't really care about being right, you're lying. We all like to be right. There are some things you might not care about being right about, but in this case, I do like being right. It was time. It was time for LSU to kick the boot to Brian Kelly. It was time for Auburn to get rid of Hugh Freeze. Took a little while, but they did it. I am confused on what these schools are going to do in place of who comes next. I don't know. It's because I don't know the structure. Like, I think when I look back to Alabama, a lot of people felt like Nick Saban was going to handpick his successor and all these things. And then you kind of hear him talk about it, and it's not like he had a choice, but I think it was more like a cosign. Like, they came to him, he probably was like, oh yeah, Kalen DeBoer, it makes sense, right? For these other schools, I don't know what their kind of process is. Like, what does Auburn do? You just got rid of Hugh Freeze, who third losing season, probably should have left last year. It is what it is. But now I'm like, do you start looking at younger coaches? Vanderbilt's coach, is he in the conversation? Kenny Dillingham at ASU, is he in the conversation? Like, what is everyone looking for? Which is what I do expect to happen, where it's going to be kind of this uptick of, it's kind of like when you play college football 26 and it's like, do you want to take this job? Downgrade, upgrade, neutral. Like, I think for a lot of these younger coaches, it's like, oh, that's an upgrade to go coach at Auburn. Like, that's a big deal. But I guess if I had to expect it, I can see Vanderbilt's coach. I think what he is doing there is impressive, and I think he has the attitude for it. Obviously, he's winning in the SEC, so he understands the conference. It's going to be way easier for him to recruit at Auburn with the money, the resources, the NIL, for him to take it to the next level. I think he would be really good for that opportunity. And Kenny Dillingham for ASU is great. Like, despite how their season is and certain things, he is a great coach. And I think given the right chance in the right conference, he could do a lot of good things.
I'm curious to know, are these answers based on who you feel like is the most realistic choice or who you think would be the best fit? Because sometimes those answers aren't the same.
Right. It's like 50-50. I think Vanderbilt's coach, I think he's a good fit, plus right for the job and realistic. Because again, younger guy, not too much experience, where like, say you're trying to go get a Lane Kiffin, the amount to get him now is absurd, right? Because like Ole Miss is going to match anything to keep him. Whereas like a Kenny Dillingham, or, in that case for Vanderbilt, like the price is a little bit different. It's like, oh, this might actually be obtainable. So I think it's realistic 50-50, and also who I think would be good. I just don't know if they're going to be able to poach someone from another program. That's the thing that I think is going to be really hard. I think these coaches are scared. I think they like where their grass is green, and I don't think they want to go find out if it's greener anywhere else.
That's fair. And I honestly thought about that as I was trying to answer this question, is like, do they try to get a coach who, like you said, seen some success in recent seasons? The Vanderbilt coach, maybe that's the Georgia Tech coach, maybe that's an offensive or defensive coordinator at another team. That's another thing that I've been thinking through as well. It's like, obviously we have a lot of coaches in the rotation that are looking for jobs. James Franklin, Brian Kelly, some of these bigger names, but then it's like, do you go that direction with somebody who with a little bit more notoriety or coming from a bigger program, or do you try to poach somebody? And I feel like that might be the direction that Auburn takes it. I don't know. I've seen some names being thrown around, especially when it comes to like the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator side. Glenn Schumann from Georgia being one of them. I've heard that he would be a really good fit. You look at USF, their head coach, SMU, their head coach. But like you said, grass might not be greener on the other side. And I think some people are afraid to test out the waters elsewhere. And also in the SEC too. I mean, we go back to the Brian Kelly story. It's like him coming from Notre Dame to LSU. He wasn't built for SEC football. So Auburn realistically needs a coach I think that should be a part of their criteria. Among other things that they should probably be looking at, I would say someone who has a pretty organic connection to Auburn too. Not that they need to necessarily be like an Auburn man or an Auburn person, but I guess given the history of Hugh Freeze, is just like having somebody that's a little bit more connected to the university. But outside of that, I want to know from your perspective, what do you think this coaching criteria should look like?
I think they have to be a winner. Like, there has to be some record of you winning something in whatever division, conference. There needs to be a history of that. And I think that's a big deal. It goes back to your point. Like, a lot of these schools are just picking guys off of names. You hear James Franklin. Oh, well, it's James Franklin. But it's like, oh, wait, we need to go look at his history. Is he a winner? Like, like, these are things that I don't think these schools ask. for Auburn, at least, I think the criteria of winning, either in a very tough conference or either in the conference that they've been in that you've seen the success of what they could do, being able to recruit is a big deal. Can they bring a pipeline of players with them, a pipeline of staff with them that is successful? And will they be able to go out in the Auburn name or whatever the case may be and be able to get these kids to say, yes, that's a big deal. These kids want to feel a connection. It's sometimes, yes, all about the money, but as we're seeing recently, some of these kids are being honest. Like, I just didn't like the coach. Like, I want to like the coach. I want to have a relationship. I want to feel like this guy is rooting for me. So I think that's a big deal. Do I think SEC pedigree is very important? I do. I'm a little biased in that. I understand that, you want equal opportunity. Every conference is not made equal, though. So it's like, unless you're winning at the highest level at your conference, that's a different conversation. But I think some SEC pedigree, either you being an OC, a DC, something where you understand this and what it looks like. I think that's why Dan Lanning has so much success at Oregon. He's an SEC pedigree guy, and he brings that same intensity, that same recruitment, that same fire to Oregon, and we're seeing the success of it, right? I think that would be very important for Auburn, all those things, to make sure that you're getting a quality guy. You can't keep playing musical chairs. Hugh Freeze was there way longer than he should have been. So the next guy, you got to give him at least the same amount of time, at least to try to get it right.
That's important. Experience building a program. And that's what I highlighted is we need, because they've dealt with now 2 coaches who have kind of left this, whoever steps into this role, this new person, a little bit of a mess. They need somebody who has at least a touch of experience, whether that is as a head coach or, some type of other coach on the team, to be able to come in with that strategy in mind. We got Quincy in the chat saying bring back Brian Kelly. I want to know your thoughts on that. It might be L's in the chat, Quincy. I'm not going to hold you.
What? Quincy, what about Brian Kelly makes you feel confident enough to say that? I would like to know.
Quincy, this is your time to respond. Fight back now.
Because I'm not going off of his Notre Dame resume. I'm only going off what his current work has been. That's it. I can't give him Notre Dame. We're removed.
Quincy followed up with Cam Newton, GOAT.
He is the GOAT. Took him a while to retire his jersey, though.
Or just buy out IU's coach. Kurt's not going anywhere. That's not happening. That's not happening. And IU made sure of that. What? Buy out IU's coach. I mean, Auburn has the money to do that, but Kurt's not.
They got a ton of money. They got a ton of money. Like, money is not the issue for them. They could go get whoever. It's no way I'm taking Brian. You could keep Brian where he at. Like,
unemployed.
That's over. That's done. You're not coming back to the SEC. Penn State will gladly take you. Gladly.
And that's what we've discussed before, that he would be a better fit at Penn State.
That's where he need to be.
Not in the SEC. Not in the SEC. We've been over this before.
Done. It's done. It's done.
Quincy said, or Kiffin, he definitely a snake. I don't know if are you referring to Kelly as a snake or Kiffin as a snake?
Kiffin has had snake-like stories. That is true. He ain't leaving Ole Miss. Like, I think once I seen Nick Saban sit there on College Game Day and was like, sometimes the grass ain't greener, I was like, he being honest, though. Like, you go over there to wherever else, you got to work to prove yourself. You got to have the relationships. You got everything you want at Ole Miss. They're willing to throw a bag of money at you to keep you. Your family's happy. They've all moved there. You finally are winning big games. If I'm Lane, it's like, man, I ain't did it. I ain't left a school to go to another school because I thought it looked better. I'm going to keep my butt where I'm at and enjoy what's going on in Ole Miss.
We got somebody in the chat saying Kiffin should go to Florida, which we've discussed before. I think I threw that out there when that Florida role opened.
Can you really see that? Can you see him there?
I think he's really happy at Ole Miss. Let me just put it that way. And I do agree with you. I don't think he's leaving. I do think if he were to go anywhere else, though, Florida would make the most sense, especially if he's staying in the SEC. I don't necessarily see him at Auburn, but I could see him at Florida. I think that is the best fit option if he were to leave. Now, is he leaving? Most likely no. He's got a lot of things in his life that have been integrated into being at his daughter's at Ole Miss. Like, there's just not I don't think there's a chance that he's going. But I appreciate, playing devil's advocate and throwing out some options there. We got Florida offers a better recruitment atmosphere than Ole Miss or Auburn. Which one are we referring to?
I think Lane's a great recruiter anywhere.
Regardless.
So I think if he was at Florida, it would be fun. If he was at LSU, it would be fun. It would be the same thing at Ole Miss. Like, I think he's a real good recruitment guy. You hear how the players talk about him. So Florida has money. All these schools got money. They just got money
too. You could go to any
ready
SEC
to throw.
School. Yeah, any SEC school. I mean, any program, any Power 5 program. Honestly, I mean, we're talking SEC right now. SEC definitely has bank, but yeah, the money is not an issue. The money is not an issue at all.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
Hey, at the end of the day, going back to this Auburn conversation, we'll see who ultimately lands as their new head coach, their permanent head coach. With that being said, the coaching carousel continues. I'm sure this will not be the last firing we see this college football season. It is not over. On that note, we're going to play a little game of hot or not. Just about every week we like to switch things up a little bit. And we're introducing this new segment, like I said, hot or not. It's the start of NBA season. And as you know, things can go any which way in the season, but we are about 6 or 7 games in, and I want to get a gauge on which players and teams are hot or not. You guys get the rules? Okay. We're going to start off on our hot list. Lachelle, I'm going to throw it over to you. Who do you have?
Okay, I was struggling with this chat before. I got a team and a player. Team, hot list, Chicago Bulls. We did not expect this success. We are impressed. I am a fan now. Didn't see it working. Josh Giddey, he looks like the Josh Giddey we all thought we were going to see at OKC. The trade worked out for both of them. I'm all here for it. Don't know if I'm fully in, but I'm here for it in the moment. And then Ryan Rollins with the Bucks. I watched him at Toledo, and he was already a 3-level scorer, a really great guard who can get to a spot at any moment. But what he's doing right now, it is something to marvel at. So I got Chicago Bulls on the hot list and Ryan Rollins on the hot list.
Shout out Chicago, because they were very low in my poll. They're very low in my poll. But I'm happy to see the success, and I hope the best for them as they continue the rest of the season. Because, yeah, I did not expect that team to be showing out the way they have. And Lachelle and I were talking at a time. This season so far has been a pleasant surprise because I feel like so early in the year, we just don't see great basketball. But right now, we are seeing some really, really good basketball. So it was honestly kind of difficult to choose this hot or not list. My hot is VJ Edgecombe and the 76ers in general. He looks like he is on the trajectory to be a top 20 type talent. His shot making and his finishing has been tremendous so far. I think if the 76ers stay healthy when they bring back Paul George and they bring back Jared McCain, this could be the best team in the East. And sorry, Quincy, I know you play for the Pistons. And
this is awkward.
This is a little awkward. But 76ers, they got my vote. I think, like I said, they could be the best team in the East by the end of the season, for sure. For sure. Chat,
I can see it.
Play along with us. Come on, give us your hot. We're going to transition into the not. Lachelle, I'm going to toss it to you. Who you got?
The New Orleans Pelicans. My gosh. Not. Big not. Capital letters not. Red underline. X. Not. Don't know what they need to do because I feel like they got the personnel to be successful. I feel like they got the roster to be successful. I don't know if it's a conversation of a coaching change. So, listen, when you sitting there benching Jordan Poole in games and stuff, when like he's not doing anything wrong, just because you want to run whatever rotation you think makes sense, I'm not here for it. So, and New Orleans deserves a good Pelicans team. They have been riddled with a curse, it seems like. And for the sake of it, I have a lot of friends that love going to watch the Pelicans play and to keep they don't even have a win this season. So yeah, New Orleans Pelicans, big not.
Yeah. And things looked, I guess, somewhat promising with the changes we saw in Zion. It was like, okay, he's, in the best shape that we've seen him since college, if not better shape. Like, oh, he's going to come back and we're going to have this new Pelicans team. Granted, it's still early in the season, so you never know, like I said, how things are going to pan out. But to be winless, I hate to see it.
Embarrassing.
Along with the Nets, they're on my not list.
They've been on the bottom for a while.
They've been on the bottom for a while. So both of these winless teams, the Pelicans and the Nets, man, I I had to put you there. I had to put you there. Unfortunately, the Pacers are also on my not list, and I hate to say that because you know
You're
where
a
I'm from.
traitor. You're a traitor.
Call me what you want. Call me what you will. All I have to say is that they were also winless until recently, and that was disappointing. I liked what I saw from them against OKC in that first game of the season. They looked good. I mean, putting up a fight against the champions.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this is a rematch of the finals, so minus Tyrese, minus Miles, minus a couple other players. Injuries have definitely hurt them, which I don't want to harp or be too harsh on them for that reason. But I just I can't say that I'm too hot on the Pacers right now, unfortunately. We got some people in the chat playing along with us. Quincy said, I actually agree with y'all, except for the 76ers being the best team. I figured you would agree with or disagree with that one. Quincy's not as Pels for sure. Player Paolo. Why is Paolo on your not list?
Oh, you know what? Okay. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at it because I actually was on live for College Football Saturday and somebody brought up the Magic. And I actually went on a rant that I felt like what I was seeing was very disappointing. And like that, Paolo, he's one of those people you expect to take this leap. Like when I use the example of him and like a younger player like a Cade Cunningham, right? I feel like I have watched Cade now get better every single year. Like I use the example that I think Cade is on the same trajectory that we saw from SGA, where every year you felt like he started to figure it out little by little, and then boom, MVP, all the things. Paolo is the only one that sometimes, like with the start of this season, I'm kind of like, you're starting kind of slow for me. Like I don't like the whole you at the free throw line talking and then you miss both free throws. Like those are the little things that bother me. I'm like, come on, man. Like if we gonna act like this, I need you to act like this. But the Magic as a whole, I'm just kind of like everybody had great expectation for them this year, and I felt like they're just off to a very slow start.
Yeah. Expectations were high. They have all the pieces to be great, but it's not clicking quite yet. And I do agree with that. Okay. We got chat's active tonight. Let's see.
I
Let's see.
know
Let's
that's
see.
right.
They're about to beat the Hornets though and get first win. I'm assuming you're talking about,
The Pelicans?
is that who the Hornets are playing tonight? I don't have any games pulled up. Um Somebody said Miles Turner's talking greasy now that he's not in Indiana.
I did peep that. I gotta watch the whole thing before I make an opinion, but I did see the clip and I was like, I'm not gonna let this clip get me. The people in the comments were like, go watch the whole thing. I haven't watched it, but I did see that clip.
I admittedly have not watched it either, so we'll have an opinion on that one a little bit later.
Facts.
Got Hollins getting buckets. He went crazy against his former team in the Warriors. Morant and Grizzlies too on the not list. I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. Another person, while you look up a score, another person that I have on my not list, and this is really probably overly judgmental given it is so early in the season and given how young he is, but Cooper Flag. He's had some early struggles.
Bailey.
He's had some early
Bailey.
struggles. He's had some early struggles. And it's one of those things where it's like the hype of a person and then it's like not meeting the expectations. Now, this is why I said I'm not going to be too harsh on him. He's 18. He was a forward coming in playing point guard for a team with a dysfunctional roster, and most of his teammates have been hurt. So honestly, he's been good considering what he's been dealt.
Yeah.
But like I said, expectations were high. He's not been quite there.
I think they're playing him out of position. I didn't understand the point guard thing. That doesn't make sense. But again, Jason Kidd is Jason Kidd. Who am I to question? I just don't think that's what he should be playing. It's too much responsibility too fast. I think he needs to be more off the ball, allow him to kind of figure out the pace of the game, get him out in transition. I think that's best, where he doesn't have to think too much. But if you're expecting him to kind of facilitate and get everyone in their actions, I just don't think that's for him just yet. I also think he's going through a kind of a learning curve. I think he's realizing like, whoa, like these dudes are out here hooping. Like they really out here like my matchups are different. Like most of my matchups now, they're kind of bigger than me. They're kind of taller than me. You know, like you see the clip of him in high school telling VJ Edgecombe he was trash. And like now we're watching VJ Edgecombe and we're like, yo, like he's out here doing things that you shouldn't really be able to do that quickly being with the 76ers. I think he's going through a little bit of a shock. He is struggling. You could tell he feels a little uncomfortable and he's having to think more. But It's fair. It's a fair critique to say that he doesn't look too good right now. Hopefully, as we go a month in, he goes through like, okay, I got it. But
He'll
as
get
of
better.
right now, yeah, it's the point guard thing doesn't make sense. He doesn't need to be playing point guard right now.
No,
I
absolutely.
don't see the Hornets. I see Timberwolves and Nets, 22-17 Nets, and then Bucks, Pacers, Bucks up.
Okay. So I don't know. Maybe it's an upcoming game on like later in the week. Who knows? But yeah, to your point, I see you in the chat. It's only 5 games. I know. That's what I said. I'm not being too harsh. I'm not being
Yeah,
too harsh. It's just
it's
an
fair.
early critique.
It's fair. It's fair to say what you see if you see a player struggling early, as much as we just sat here and did a hot list. We're sitting here saying, VJ Edgecombe looks good, Ryan Rollins, the Bulls. Like, it's also fair to be like, hey, we're seeing some guys that are struggling at the beginning of this season. No cause of alarm. It's just one of those things that if I'm going to sit there and praise you and say you're the best thing since sliced bread, I have to equally be able to offer a criticism or a critique of what I'm seeing is below the expectation of what was advertised.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head there. Thank you. Thank you for the 2 cents. We appreciate you. 76ers are going to have some uncomfortable conversations when PG comes back with VJ balling the way he is.
Yeah, it's time for PG to go.
Ooh, go where?
I don't know, but it's seeing Tyrese and VJ Edgecombe play how they're playing. It's actually like one of those things. If I was in the front office, I'd be like, whoa, we might have struck too much of gold. Like, they play fast. They play with pace. They're aggressive. They can score. Joel doesn't even have to do too much. He's
his favorite thing.
Yeah, he just has to slip right in and do his thing. Everyone's accounted for. They defensively have a spark to them. I don't know what PG is complimenting once he's there. That's my biggest thing. What are you adding? Because we have to change things once you come back. Jared McCain's going to be fine because you can always have more guards. But with PG, I'm like, I don't know where you fit in with this. I don't know if this is a plug and play. I don't know.
It's almost like when you're saying all that, the Indiana Fever come to mind to a degree where it's like obviously a lot of talent on the 76ers roster and similar conversation, a lot of talent on the Fever's roster. But in both cases, you have your star, right? Caitlin for the Fever. And in this case, a lot of people would argue PG for the 76ers. When you took Caitlin out of the picture, the Fever were almost better than they were with her in the conversation. And same goes for the 76ers in this case with PG out. 76ers hooping. So what happens when you put him back in? What we didn't see what that outcome was with Caitlin and the Fever. We'll see next season. But it is interesting to see how that will ultimately pan out. Sometimes teams just do better having, deep bench and rotating their players a certain way. And maybe that's just the way that the 76ers are going to have to roll with this season. And it may not be a situation where PG fits so perfectly into the puzzle anymore. All right. Thanks for playing along, y'all. We appreciate that. Hot or not, we're going to go ahead and jump into a little NFL Sunday recap. Cause like I said, now that it's Monday, we've got we don't have a full, cause technically we have a Monday night game, but we've got almost a full slate of games to go over. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it. Man, the Colts lost.
It was coming. Get it out the way now.
Yeah, you're right. It's just the way that they lost because the Steelers have one of the worst defenses in the league, and somehow they forced 6 takeaways. It was all starting really good, and then Downs, he muffs the punt, and it felt like from then on out, I mean, it's like everything that could go wrong eventually did go wrong on every single offensive drive. It was a terrible day for the Colts offense. But honestly, you look at how many turnovers they had, and only losing by 7 is actually wild, which is a testament to the defense who looked really good this week. But yeah, the stats, that was sickening to look at. Did you get the chance to watch this game by chance?
I watched glimpses of it. Okay. The Steelers always shock me because I really have no hope in them. And then they end up winning certain games. I'm like, maybe this is an all right team. What Mike Tomlin said, there's a fine line between wine and like grapes. And I was like, maybe you're onto something there because your team walks that line from being really bad and like, maybe you're all right. So it was impressive to see their defense because, like you said, their defense hasn't been good, which is also like weird because usually the Steelers historically in franchise is known for having a very opposing, aggressive defense. So it's like, I don't know if the culture just finally hit in on this game against the Colts. I mean, it's a big win though, because you look at the Colts, they're rolling. And to be able to have that success, it's like, whew, we might could breathe a little bit easy.
Yeah, no, this Steelers seems confusing to say the least. In the chat, bang bang Steeler gang.
I know that's
Daniel
right.
Jones will be the Daniel Jones of old at some point.
Dang, that's messed up. I'm not gonna say it's wrong, but that's messed up.
I hope that's not the case. I went on my page last week and I said he got a strong case for comeback player of the year. I need that take to be true through the rest of the season. And that means I need them to continue being good. It was alumni weekend too, so they had no choice but to show up. Hey, I guess it's bang bang Steeler gang then.
Hey, what is that? Is it the terrible towel?
Terrible towel, yeah. I don't got one, but yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pivot. Jaden Daniels, man, you hate to see it. You hate to see it, and hate to see the clip of it too. I mean, that was nasty. His arm was bending in ways arms should not be bending. The Athletic wrote an interesting article about his injury, saying it wasn't just bad luck; it was preventable. It was a preventable mistake, and the writer goes on to say that there's no reason he should have been on the field. In a quote, game long since lost. What's your thoughts on that?
I 100% agree. It comes to a point you got to be able to save the players from themselves. I get that he's been fighting injuries really this whole season. And obviously, for a young player like that, he wants to play. He wants to be healthy. He knows when he's healthy, they're a way better team, which is true. But it gets to a point, again, that game was over by halftime. It was like, okay, he could get maybe a few more snaps, but other than that, it's like, man, I'm putting Marcus Mariota out there and we're calling this a day. Like, there's no reason for him to have been out there when he was with the score, with what it looked like. And to see that happen as it did, as gruesome as it was preventable. You didn't have to have him out there. And now you're not going to have him most likely for the rest of the season, which sucks because now, like, man, the sophomore slump is real. Like, I know we try to sit there and say it's not, but like, for a guy like Jaden Daniels that we talk so much about, and I don't know if you saw his mom was like on Twitter because people compare him to like RG3. And I don't know if they're comparing talent more than like the care of an organization of how they didn't really take care of RG3. He had a ton of injuries and how they felt like the organization isn't really taking care of Jaden Daniels too. And she made like a tweet saying like, hey, like, you know, my son is Jaden Daniels, like, don't compare him and all these things. I think RG3 was like, it's all respect. Like, I'm a big fan. Like, I don't think he was initiating that conversation, but I think there was a level of, hey, they've had talent before here and kind of mishandled injuries. And we feel like maybe that's the same thing happening here with Jaden Daniels. And I think that's a fair conversation to have now.
A little bit of a repeat pattern that we might be seeing. I do agree. Fourth quarter, the way that they were losing, he should have been taken out. The other thing I will say, this is a general statement. Every time I see young quarterbacks try and dive for a run out of a tackle, and it's not the playoffs or not, serious critical game, I do get a little squirmish because it just slide. It's really not worth it. Like, lose the battle, win the war. I know that play was kind of a freak accident and a QB run, but still, you got to learn to go down. And I'm not putting this on Jaden, but it's just one of those learning lessons and just growing moments, growing pains in football and just sports in general. You just have to learn to kind of get uncomfortable at times doing things that you typically wouldn't do. And in this case, if he would have just gone down, he might not have been injured. It
might be different. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a fair perspective. I mean, we see it like with older quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if people watch when he's like getting sacked. He just goes ahead and curls up in a ball. Like, he's not trying to break a tackle. He just literally just goes ahead and gets comfy and just goes. I've seen him literally just go down himself because he's like, oh no. Like, I think for these, like you said, for these young quarterbacks, there's like, well, I'm young, I'm athletic, I've escaped tackles before, I could do it again. It's like, man, it's a long season and you've been dealing with a lot of injuries. You just got to go down. Ain't nobody going to think you soft. No one thinks you're giving up. It's a long game to play. I feel like every young quarterback, we see Lamar will slide. He'll get out of bounds. Like, he ain't always sitting there trying to take you out. There comes a time you see him go ahead and scamper right on out of there, buddy.
Right.
Like, you start getting hit and all that, it adds up. And then freak injuries happen. I mean, it's equally a learning lesson as well of how to take care of yourself, but also just Washington in general. It's just he had no business being out there.
Yeah. We got someone in chat saying the whole Commanders team they need to punish players for the drop hip tackles. I know that's been a topic of conversation for a minute now. We've been talking about that for years. It's definitely it's dangerous. It's dangerous, and it puts other people in dangerous situations. And you know, it might be time to have a larger conversation about that. Josh Allen is the only exception because he's built like an offensive lineman, so he can take the punishment even if he protects himself. I think is that.
I can see that. There's some of them that can handle it, but like you said with Jaden Daniels, like it was a freak accident. You look at the replay, which is like I could literally like feel the snap in the video.
Bad.
Like
so bad.
But it's like you also see him trying to brace himself, and like it goes back to what they say in basketball, like when you're falling out, and it's like, bruh, don't use your hands. Like just go ahead and like use your body. Because if the minute you use your hand, you're messing up an elbow, you're doing something.
Wrist, something. You
see, he was kind of trying to like plant down, and then just all these things happen. It's just like, it's unfortunate for sure.
Hey, best of luck to him. Best wishes. Like you said, it's likely we won't see him the rest of the season. He is out with a dislocated elbow. Who knows what the timeline is? I haven't seen an update on if and when he will be back. But as always, best wishes. We got the Seahawks blowout win. Sam Darnold had the best half in NFL history, 17 for 17, 4 touchdowns. Whole team is humming right now. Some people think he should be in the MVP combo. What are your thoughts on
that? I think it's fair. They're having some success. Either you got him in the MVP conversation or like, no, I would put him there. I was going to give him something else. I'd put him there as of right now. After what we saw, that was a performance. I mean, you even heard them on the broadcast be like, this is just not normal. Like he's dealing this season. He is acting different. And it shows a lot of just like the growth of these quarterbacks. I think too, as fans, like we're so big on like a quarterback has to have a great season every single year. Like, you know, the ones that rotate around and move around, they're not as good. But like what we're seeing now, Sam Darnold having an amazing season. Shoot, Joe Flacco coming in, even though, you know, the Bengals can't really win no games, but he's out there doing what needs to be done. You know, the same thing goes for Sam Darnold. What he did, yeah, he's in the MVP. If I'm putting Baker Mayfield and stuff like that in there, I'm putting Sam Darnold in there.
How much do you think the Vikings are punching the air right now?
Not too much. Okay. I think from what we saw from JJ with him being back, kid didn't look like he lost a step. It looked like he was fine. I think the Vikings were willing to roll the dice on the future, which I think is fine. I think when JJ is healthy, as he continues to learn, we've seen the sparks. We've seen how good he can be. You probably are sitting there, though, like, maybe we did have our guy, but I don't think they anticipated Sam Darnold having the season that he did when he had it because of JJ being hurt. So, like, that I think threw them off. They were like, maybe you won't do that again, though. Like, maybe that was a one-time thing because you had Justin Jefferson, but now he's on the Seahawks, got JSN looking like the top receiver in the league. So it's like the only common denominator is Sam Darnold.
Right.
Like, so it was the real deal.
Yeah. I got someone in chat saying JSN is an MVP dark horse too. JSN, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. He's on pace for a 2,000-yard season. Did you guys see Shady McCoy opinion on Sam Darnold? I did not. No. Lachelle, did you?
No. What did he say? Oh, gosh.
We might do a quick Google search unless you
all respect.
Faster.
Sometimes they say some crazy stuff and I'd be like, I don't see how that hit on that one, but hey, who am I? I didn't put on pads and put on a helmet.
He said Sam Darnold is still trash in the playoffs. Yep. Called Sam Darnold trash. Okay. We're gonna have to watch this full video later. It's from Speakeasy with Emmanuel Acho, and shout out my guy Care Bear Kieran. We'll watch that. We'll watch that a little bit later. We'll have a reaction for you because this I wish I could.
I need context.
Yeah.
I need context. Like, why would he just? What was the question? What was the conversation? That's so unprovoked.
It's so unprovoked. Chat. One day we're gonna get a setup where we can just stream in videos from YouTube so we can react in real time with y'all. But right now, we're going to get back to you on that one. But good segue, because we brought up JJ McCarthy and the Vikings. They beat the Lions. 27-24 loss for the Lions. I'm just questioning how the Lions look this bad after a bye week. However, I will say this, watching the Lions come off of a bye week, historically, they don't do great. They come back a little clumsier than I feel like they left. And some might say it's their Achilles heel. I want your thoughts on this game, what you saw from the Vikings, what you saw from the Lions. How are you feeling about the outcome?
I'm questionable on the Lions. I put my faith in them last year, and I don't want to be made a fool again. So I won't be doing that this year. And what I'm seeing this year, I'm still not really impressed. Their defense, though, on the other hand, very, very, still very, very good. So that is one thing. But for the Vikings, I was just impressed with JJ. I didn't think he was going to be able to come back from injury and be able to feel the rhythm of the game and move how he was moving. He was moving really well outside the pocket, in the pocket, getting the throws down the field, making sure Justin Jefferson was involved. I liked what their game plan was. It was super impressive. I mean, the Vikings have a team, right? They have a good defense. They had a good defense last year. But offensively, the biggest question is, can JJ McCarthy be the guy throughout a season when he's actually healthy? From what I saw against the Lions, though, against that good of a defense, he performed really well.
Yeah, JJ McCarthy, he looked really good. I'm glad to see him coming back from injury well and playing the way that he's been playing. So hopefully they can keep that up. We got the Bears.
The Bears.
The last 2 minutes of that game, it was one of the most chaotic and entertaining games this season. Mainly because of how the last few moments of this game played out. It was filled with back and forth momentum swings for both teams. At one point, both teams, Cincinnati and Chicago, had at least an 85% win probability in the final 2 minutes, proving just how wild of a ride this game was. The Bengals are just so funny to me. They're so funny. They have an unbelievable offense and literally no defense at all. I mean, you talk about Joe Flacco earlier, 470 passing yards. It's like that's a career game, which is insane considering the career he's had. I'm just, they're so confusing. This game is so confusing. Ugh, I don't know.
They should feel bad. They should. Okay, well, before we start ripping on Cincinnati, because that deserves its own moment of a rant of just what are y'all? What are y'all doing? What's going on? Is Zach Taylor going to get fired or not? They need to go ahead and do that. That's another conversation. Do you still think the Bears are lucky? I'm not going to lie. Before you answer, when I watched it happen, I said, dang, they might be lucky. But then I'm like, is this luck that Cincinnati just can't tackle? Like, when you saw everything, were you like, maybe they are all right, or maybe no, they're just really lucky?
Yeah, I still maintain my take on they're just lucky. They're not that good. But I transparently didn't get to watch the full game. I just watched highlights of it. I specifically watched those last couple minutes. Yeah, that's luck. That's luck. if they were actually good, that game would not have gone that way. That game would
see it.
Especially, no,
I don't think it would have been a touchdown. Like, actually, no, let me just take that back. That whole game would have been different if it was
different. Yeah.
It's just Cincinnati's bad. They are horrible.
Yeah. And it's two bad teams. I'm not going to say the Bears are Bengals bad, but two Bengals bad, Bears not great playing each other.
Average team, but in a bad team.
Yeah. Everybody got to go except for Joey B, Jamar, and T.
Well, those three can't go. They getting all the money.
Yeah, they got the contracts to stay. Yeah, I don't think
after all of this, y'all three ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
But no, the whole team has to be restructured for sure. I mean, Zach Taylor needs to be fired. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's time. There's no more excuses between Joe Burrow not being able to stay healthy, which might just be his career, sadly. I think that's an uncomfortable conversation for a lot of people, but that might be what it is. He might just be a guy that had a lot of potential. And like, I don't know if we're going to have enough to see throughout a season if he just can't be healthy. Like, it's an honest thing to talk about, but Zach Taylor needs to be fired. Yeah. They're, I don't know if they wait until the end of the season. I don't know. It's time. It's time.
Yeah.
Cut ties.
A lot of wasted talent on that team, unfortunately. And yeah, they need to figure out how to be able to maximize the money that they've put in because there's a lot of money tied up in those three right now. So, building around them, firing the coach, like it's whatever needs to happen for the Bengals because it's not looking great this season. All right. We're going to go ahead and transition. Typically, we do a segment where y'all give us your hot takes of the week. But we decided to switch it up a little bit instead of doing the hotline. It's me versus Lachelle. We've cooked up some random spicy opinions and we want y'all to react just like we do you. You can do us. Be critical. Be honest. If you want, you can tear us to shreds. But at least hear us out first. Lachelle, you're up.
Okay. I feel like, did you ever take debate class? That's how they used to, like, you're up, what is it? Something, defend and something else. Okay. My hot take, which hit me as we were talking about JSN. My hot take is that Ohio State is the true wide receiver U, and it is not LSU. Hear me out. I was very much a defender that LSU is wide receiver U because I was looking at the success of some of the top receivers, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Justin Jefferson. I mean, we could go back to Odell Beckham, all those things, right? But in the recent years, I mean, Brian Thomas, I'll put him in there. In the recent years of what I am seeing, Ohio State might truly be wide receiver U. I didn't want to accept that before, but I think I am now on the hot take train. I'm looking at the success. I'm looking at JSN. I'm looking at Emeka Egbuka. I'm looking at Jeremiah Smith, Carnell. I'm looking at what they're producing. It's not normal. These guys are coming into the league in 1 to 3 years are looking like the guys. Marvin Harrison still trying to get there, but still, that's my hot take. Ohio State is the true wide receiver U, not LSU at this moment.
Lachelle, you know how happy that makes me? A positive Ohio State take. Wow.
Yes, it pains me, but I respect it. I see it.
Wow. You know what? I had two takes, and funny enough, mine was about Ohio State, and it's kind of up the alley that you were going with Ohio State being wide receiver U because Brian Hartline, their offensive coordinator and their wide receivers coach, he is the real deal, and he has contributed to the success of a lot of the names that you've mentioned, JSN, Carnell Tate. I mean, obviously, it's still at OSU. Garrett Wilson. The list goes on. Emeka Egbuka, like I said, the list goes on. We could sit here for a little minute and we can name some names. With that being said, my hot take is that Brian Hartline is going to get plucked and he's going to go to Penn State.
Oh.
I have a feeling that might be the route that he goes. And they're in the Big Ten, right next door to OSU. I could potentially see that happening. If Penn State is smart, they will take him. If Ohio State is smarter, they will never let him go.
Right.
Ooh. That is the pick of the week.
That is hot.
Chat, let us know. Somebody said it isn't Bailey a Hoosier girl. Why is she giving Ohio State credit? You know what? Let me explain this for you. We've been down this path before. If I have not made it clear enough, I'm going to make it very clear for you again. I grew up a Buckeye fan. I was never a Hoosier. The reason, well, I was a Hoosier because I was born in Indiana, but I was never rooting for IU growing up. Why do I root for IU now? Because of this. They're on the wall, okay?
And they're good.
And they're good. That is why I am a Hoosier. Now, like I said, if you know me, you know my history, I grew up a Buckeye fan. It is always OHIO. Okay, there we go. Now that we got that settled, we can continue the conversation. Yeah, chat. Let us know what you think. We got some reactions to Lachelle's take. Michael Thomas is the only OSU question mark. He said, he's early on. Nope, absolutely not. Jarvis Landry. And then the Michael Thomas comment. They got 2 of the top recruits in Cali going to OSU. Chris Henry Jr. gone. Chris Henry Jr. is going to be a problem. Okay. I appreciate y'all reacting. Let us know. Continue chatting. Chat. We wanna hear what you gotta say. But
I feel like the chat be saying they've been saying a lot of stuff today.
I am greatness 27 active and not Quincy Oliveri, aka Quincy Oliveri active. We got some few others in the chat that have been chiming in here and there. But yeah, we got some activity. Do you have another one? You have another one cooking up?
Curious. Do I have another hot take? I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think Luka is gonna win the MVP this year. Maybe that's just a flag in the stand with that one. Luka just looking different. I don't know. It's healthy Luka. I know somebody got on me on TikTok and was like, "Stop saying like he was big Luka," or like I was on live and I was like, "I'm not saying Luka was fat. Luka was unhealthy. Like there was moments where you would see Luka just stop running because he was unhealthy. But this Luka is running the floor. This Luka looks like he's trying to average 40." And that's my hot take. I think he's going to end up winning the MVP this year.
I ain't mad at that. All right. Skinny Luka for MVP. Nah, he was fat.
Oh, whoa.
He was eating good in Dallas. You just got to stay away from In-N-Out. In-N-Out, hey, this is a hot take. In-N-Out's not that good.
That's not a hot take. It's horrible. It is horrible. Those fries are cardboard.
Trash.
The burger has nothing. That spread sucks. Like it is. Thank you. That's not a hot take in this household. That In-N-Out is horrible.
In-N-Out's so bad. I don't understand how people like it. Yeah, In-N-Out is horrible. I went to LA. Well, we were filming our episode out there a couple weeks ago, and that was the first stop we made when we got to LA. We have to go to In-N-Out. Okay, I've been there before. I already knew it wasn't going to live up to any of the hype that any of us were thinking it was going to live up to. Fries, like you said, trash. Even if you get them animal style, trash. American cheese on top of them, not great. You get the onions, doesn't help. You do the little hot pepper thing. It's not it. There's so many burger places that are better. Now, if you come out to the Midwest, you gotta stop by Culver's.
Okay, I've heard about Culver's. Everyone says it's good, so I believe that's true.
Yeah, I don't eat beef, so I'm not a burger person. But they got a bunch of other menu items that I can vouch for. I've heard that their butter burgers are very, very good. I know people that will go out their way to get Culver's, like people will go out their way to get In-N-Out. So I'm just throwing it out there. I think y'all are wrong. I think y'all are very wrong.
They are.
Y'all not Whataburger girls, are y'all? I like Whataburger, honestly.
I was gonna bring up, so
I don't mind it.
People say Whataburger, and then it's like you read it and it's like Whataburger.
Whataburger,
to me, it's all the same. That is a real place. Like I would take that over In-N-Out any single day of the week. Like In-N-Out is, I would rather just go to Five Guys. Five Guys burgers are
just pricey.
It's so, but the whole bag is gonna be full of fries. Like you're getting your money's worth. That burger, yeah, that's a good burger right there.
And you can build your own. You can put whatever you want on it. You can stack it up however you want.
Some stupid.
Guys, we got a whole different topic. It's dinner time. We're hungry. I can tell. I haven't eaten. I don't know about y'all. We might need to wrap this one up. we might need to wrap this one up. On that note, we appreciate y'all joining us for another episode of Off the Record. Obviously, it's Monday, but we're live on Twitch every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. So make sure to sub, make sure to follow. And if you miss any part of the stream, don't worry, because every episode is posted on YouTube the following day, Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific. In this case, you will see this episode Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific. On that note, we out.